What's my most wanted, most desired, and most desirable crowdfunding game launching this week? It'll surprise you. Are you ready for it? Let's do this. Not just a tease right here at the beginning. We're going right away to the number one of the week, and that's actually Hwang. Hwang is actually going to be the number one because Flanix Games just put out the 4th update from the crowdfunding page prior to launch over on GameFound. And it has blown away my expectations. Let me pull it up for you because it's that surprising. Now, if you're not familiar with that, I'll just give you the brief rundown from Flanix Games. This is Yellow Yangtzee. This is just Yellow Yangtzee, Kinezia's masterpiece, the revision, rethinking of Tigris and Euphrates, arguably which one is better. And this is a 2 to 4 player game where you're just warring over the land. And it's absolutely freaking amazing. It's out of print. And therein lies the dilemma, right? Like, you can pick this up in the secondary market for like somewhere between $100 and $150 right now. So are you going to do that? No, because Flanix Games has now shown us with this last 4th update right here. This is the best part, right? Well, not this part. We'll get to the best part. But here you have a dragon expansion, which is going to be allowed to play it with 5 people. This is going to be a paid add-on expansion. But this. Cannot state this enough. The deluxe version is only $59. That's why this is the top pick of the week, folks. $59 with deluxe components. Now, it's not a lot of deluxe components, but I expected this to be $70, $80, $90. Now, I'm not going to talk about shipping. Shipping is probably going to be the issue, especially for you not in North America, I'm guessing. Even the standard pledge is only 45 euros. Now, sorry, I misspoke there for a second. Still, euros, not much more than the dollar nowadays. That's good. Because the other expansion that you're getting, if you're following the GameFound page, which I'll put in the link below, you get the free Royal Palace expansion, which is the long-desired one that never came to fruition for Yellow and Yangtzee. Now, I don't think it's going to be compatible. I wish it was going to be compatible. They've got a few videos out here with a few little interpretations and previews of it, but this is the game to get. If you have any desire of this, you have any desire of anything like this, this cannot be missed. It's a great price for a freaking amazing game. Is that a strong enough statement for you at that point, right? Can't really state that one any freaking stronger. So that's also why it beat out number 2 here. Number 2 being Scholars of the South Tigris from Garfield Games. I mean, there was an interesting debate over on the Board Game Geek forums because, you know, it's the latest in the heavy dice worker placement strategy games from Garfield. And this is the second in the South Tigris series, Wayfarers being the first one. And they're going to offer some deluxe metal coins. They're going to offer some extra promos. They're going to say you can pick it up at retail because it'll be cheaper at retail without the deluxe metal coins and minus the few promos that you're not going to use anyway. But support us on crowdfunding because we're a good company. No problem with that. But that's the campaign, probably the last 3 or 4 or 5 campaigns from them in a nutshell. It's fine. The interesting part was over on the Board Game Geek forums, as I, sort of tangent off here, was people like, why are they on crowdfunding? Why are they on Kickstarter? Well, it's because pre-orders for things like this don't nearly generate the massive exposure or hype that they do on crowdfunding nowadays, especially if you're an established crowdfunding company, which they are. And so it's going to invariably raise a lot more money there, and you're not going to have to put out the buco bucks to guess how many pre-orders or orders you're going to have to do production-wise when people will just tell you then. Makes sense. It's not just CMON doing that. Kickstarter, contrary to popular opinion, Kickstarter has never really been labeled, this isn't for pre-orders. It's, it's the fine print, folks. It is what it is. You can't get upset at people for using it for other things like CMON and then say Garfield can't do it for the same reasons. I mean, it's very similar overlap about why those companies do what they do from a business model standpoint. I don't begrudge any of them either, by the way, just to be clear. I think it's a fantastic business model for you if you can pull it off in that sense like these companies can. So take that for what you will. The only question is, again, how much heavier is this one? Rumors are this one's heavier than Wayfarers. Wayfarers was a little bit heavier than I think people thought originally as well. So how much different? I mean, that's sort of with the other ones that people have seen. Okay, I prefer Paladins. I prefer this one. I prefer this one of the trilogy. And invariably, people pick their favorite. And is this going to be better or worse than Wayfarers if you've played that or not played that like me? So take that for what you will. The other one that, again, I have no clue where this could be, but this is the one that I could either see succeeding beyond expectations or just sort of we've seen some of these mid-fantasy-esque vibe games also fall flat in the last year. And again, not being able to parse out what's going to happen beforehand makes it incredibly difficult. This is an Age Contrived, which also has a very, very nice concept of an engine building, fantasy, god making style of game. Their website has some very, very strong words, an inspiration, a love letter to previous Euro games with a picture of Russian railroads, Scythe, and Hansa Teutonica. And they say you can build your engine and potentially, you're essentially in an asymmetric one of 5 different ways as you start off similar and just branch out differently. The other big thing, they say there's no really rounds or phases, 2 types of turns, a programming and an action, meaning you're using your transmutation device that you start out with that every player gets to put in actions into your queue, essentially. And then you then take them and use its energy to take as many actions as you've already programmed in there. Information is open, so there's no hidden information. It's, pure strategy of what you're going to be doing. And luck is only in the shuffling of the tiles of the setup of the game, right? So if you're looking at the Ode to Euros, that's what you probably want to see out of a game like this as well. Where does it fall, though? I have no freaking clue. How deluxified is it going to be? Again, what is the price point going to be? That's the big thing with Huang and Scholars. So that's why I could easily see it going one way or the other, but that's also why it's getting the 3rd slot here on the list today. The other one that I have to mention here, and sort of the honorable mention spot, is Battle Beyond Tales of Blood and Salt. Fabled Games' new company here is putting out their first release. Midweight 2 to 4 player Euro style game where you're a pirate captain trying to go for the most renown and trying to be the one with most prestige points at the end of the game. 5 rounds, 4 phases, assemble your crew, battle it out, fight for the most points that you can get. Gonna be some dice rolling here, but they say combat is actually really a 3-phase system to make it a little bit more unique. Contracts, hiring new crew, repairing or upgrading your ship, traveling as you're plundering other trade ships along the routes, trying to get more morale, trying to get reputation, or just trying to, get more prestige by, what you can actually accomplish. There's not a whole lot of other details of what the game flow is actually going to look like on Board Game Geek, so I can't give a whole lot more, succinct, concrete information. But it's got my eye on things. It reminds me of Rock Manor Games from last year when I did the preview of that one, of Seas of Havoc, which is coming to retail and being delivered soon to backers in the next couple months. So that's the other vibe that I get. And it's sort of a different spin on even like Libertalia, which is a great game. But this is more like actually captaining your ship as opposed to sort of like a resource management site collection-esque game like that. So take it for what you will, but that's also why it's the honorable mention, because I could see this one being, a little bit of a sleeper as well this week. Speaking of sleepers, check out my video from yesterday. Cat Boilers, the Meow and Right, as well as Bound, the print and play. Check those freaking campaigns out. I don't usually prompt this video and that video. No, switch that. I don't usually prompt that video in this video, but you know what I'm saying. Best of the rest, there's about 4 or 5 other games that are going to be launching over this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday period that we know of already at this point. A 2-player dueling game called Soul of Anchoril. Then you have another fantasy faring RPG game called Wanderlust. Then you also have a Spirits of Christmas where you are taking on the role of Scrooge, trying to revise and revisit the past and change things before time is up. And then you also have a couple called Nevermind the Distraction, next in the Soda Pop game miniature collection from Thundergriff Games, as well as a few others launching over on GameFound. Fisheries of Gloucester and El Pujaros over launching on GameFound as well this next week. And the Demise of Dr. Frankenstein. So a host of variety of other stuff, but those are, the big ones that have really caught my eye at the beginning. So there you go. That is what to expect on crowdfunding this week. Man, am I going to pull the trigger on getting a second copy of Yellow and Yangtzee? Magic 8 Ball. All signs are pointing to, unfortunately, for my wallet, that may be the case. I'm following because I want the expansion. I'm gonna try and make the expansion compatible. If they don't make it expansion compatible, I'm gonna work on it. That's all I got. Stay classy. Thanks for subscribing. See you around. Have a great freaking day.